Eden's inbound about 30 to the Kennedy Junction. On the Kennedy out 38 minutes, you save 3 in the Express, 48 in from O'Hare into downtown. Eisenhower getting out to the Jane Addams, 56, an hour 3 inbound. On the Stevenson out 1 hour to 3:55, about 45 the drive in. On the Dan Ryan, you're 37 out to the Split, coming in 18 from the merge into downtown. Next reports at 4:08, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Neil, thank you. For the rest of today, cloudy sky, temperatures in the 40s, cooler lakefront. We've only got 34 degrees in the city right now. Cloudy tonight, a low of 33, then a little rain tomorrow, especially south of I-80 with a high of 47, maybe some thunderstorms on Thursday. Once again, 41 degrees at 3:59.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM, the Chicago Fire breaks ground on a new stadium in the South Loop.
This is Andy Dane. A federal grand jury in Chicago indicts a man with ties to Joaquin El Chapo Guzman.
Plus, escalation of attacks in Iran begins with B-2s aiming to destruct its missiles, launchers, Navy, and more. The latest on that coming up from CBS News. Sports Bears need a new center after the surprise retirement of Drew Dahlman.
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. It could have been worse, but still stocks ending lower. The Dow down 404 points, the NASDAQ down 232, the S&P lower by 65.
It's 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Two U.S. officials tell CBS News that B-2s have been targeting command and control nodes of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, weapon depots, and an assembly facility for Iran's rocket program. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is updating lawmakers on Capitol Hill on this fourth day of war with Iran and says of the mission objectives.
CENTCOM in a joint operations is carrying out a systematic destruction of their missile belt, destruction of their launchers, and destruction of their ability to make these, as well as the destruction of their Navy. From what I've been told by the Department of War, everything is on or ahead of schedule.
Secretary Rubio says they're trying to help Americans leave the region. President Trump is offering assurances to the world as Iran retaliates in the Gulf.
Posting on social media, the president said he's ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation, or the DFC, to provide reasonably priced political risk insurance and guarantees of financial security for, quote, all maritime trade, especially energy, traveling through the Gulf. The president added, if necessary, the U.S. Navy will escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. And he said, quote, no matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is among those receiving updates on the situation in Iran, and he says of the strikes and the narrative.
The American people do not want an endless war. The administration doesn't seem to know what it's doing. Every hour there's a different rationale as to why we're doing this.
Texas voters have turned out for both parties over a closely watched Senate primary. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Voter Michael Collins in Mansfield, Texas, definitely wants Republicans to stay in power.
I like the way that Trump is running the country.
Stan Williams says he is worried about the economy, among many other things.
I'm concerned about the immigration stuff, concerned about the stuff with men and women's sports.
But voter Dwayne Henry says,
I just feel that change needs to be made.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Voters are also heading to the polls in Arkansas, and those in North Carolina look to narrow a competitive Senate race. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has defended the immigration crackdown during her testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota has pressed Noem about the fatal shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents.
Are you defending stopping off?
I would like to hear you talk about some of the operations that
dragging
we've
a
done to bring
elder
people
out of
to
his
justice.
home?
When you only talk about these situations like this that we are conducting, and you don't talk about the good work that they do to protect people from being victimized.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get 20.
What's up, everybody? SubX.News. On the spot reporting live from Streeterville. We're going to listen to the local news now a little bit, then we're going to figure out what we're going to do.
WBBMNewsRadio.com.
Thanks for tuning in.
4:03 Tuesday, the third day of March. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Lisa Fielding. We've got cloudy skies, temperatures in the 40s for the most part. Chillier lakefront. Could get a little rain tomorrow. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up at 4:15, but first at 4. The clock is started for fans of the Chicago Fire soccer team as city leaders joined team execs last hour to break ground on the club's new stadium in the South Loop. WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz is there. He's live on the news line from Roosevelt and Clark. Exciting day, Jeff. All right, we'll get back to Jeff in a moment. A federal grand jury in Chicago has indicted a man with ties to El Chapo on drug and terrorism charges.
Federal prosecutors accuse 49-year-old Jesus Omar Ibarra Felix of leading a group that provided armed security to Joaquin Guzman's sons, also known as the Chapitos, who took over their father's Sinaloa cartel operations following his 2016 arrest. Ibarra Felix allegedly provided guns to the four and helped them smuggle meth, fentanyl, and other drugs into the U.S. from Mexico. At the same time, he oversaw separate drug trafficking operations in his home country. If convicted, Ibarra Felix faces life in prison on drug, firearm, and material support of terrorism charges. A warrant has now been issued for his arrest. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
It's an exciting day in the South Loop with the Chicago Fire soccer team. WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz is there. Hi, Jeff.
Lisa, the planned $750 million stadium here along the Chicago River will anchor an entertainment, office, retail, and living complex that developers have long referred to as the 78. That's a reference to the 77 neighborhoods in Chicago plus one. Fire owner Joe Mansueto is paying for the stadium construction with his own money, and Mayor Brandon Johnson praised his commitment to the city while also getting in a reference to the city's other well-known football team, the Bears, which is looking for a new home of its own.
I will say that it is so good to make sure at least one of our football teams in Chicago is good. One more to go.
And just a few moments ago, the mayor, who has 3 kids who play soccer, reflected on what the development meant to him personally.
The game of soccer was not necessarily available for my generation. And to think that my son and my daughter and young people across this city can see themselves grow in a sport like soccer, it's a remarkable testament to how the game has grown.
Lisa, Joe Mansueto says sports stadiums aren't just buildings, they're memory machines, and I loved that. He says he hopes this development will churn out generations of memories in the future.
I love that too. So when will the big project be done?
They're estimating that games will be played here along the banks of the Chicago River in 2 years. We will be watching.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much for reporting from the South Loop. The Justice Department has made another surprise move in a lawsuit brought by several high-powered law firms. One of the accusers, a firm from Chicago, claims it was targeted by President Trump.
The Justice Department has reversed its plan and will continue to appeal court rulings that found President Trump's executive orders targeting 4 law firms unconstitutional. The day before, the department filed a motion in a D.C. appellate court to voluntarily dismiss its case. The president's executive orders banned Chicago-based Jenner & Block and 3 other high-profile firms from government business and threatened their clients with losing federal contracts because of their DEI policies and the Democratic politics of some of their partners. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
WBBM has reached out to Jenner & Block for a response. Well, Illinois Governor Pritzker says a reference to him by former President Bill Clinton during testimony tied to Jeffrey Epstein was a mistake. He then criticized Republicans for using it to raise questions about his conduct. The former president was testifying about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and his companion, Ghislaine Maxwell, last week when he mentioned a trip he took with the governor and his wife. Pritzker told reporters that the former president admitted his mistake later in his testimony and said he'd never even heard of Epstein until the scandal broke.
I had never met Jeffrey Epstein. I was never on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. I was never on any plane with Jeffrey Epstein or with Ghislaine Maxwell. Never met her.
He also called on Republicans to compel President Trump to testify about his relationship with Epstein and Maxwell. 8 pets have been reunited with their owners after being stolen in a van in Lincoln Park. The theft happened at Animal Lovers Pet Salon at Clybourne and Greenview. The owner of a boarding facility in Indiana says he was dropping the pets off at the salon when someone got into the van and drove off. Investigators tracked the van down in an alley near Lakewood and Oakdale, and the dogs have been safely returned to their owners. No word if there have been any arrests. It's 4:08 now. Traffic and weather together on the 8th to the roads.
What's up, everybody? As you see, There you go. Count how many people you see out there. There's homeless migrants or migrants begging right there. You see the migrant? It's a migrant exploiting their child right there. See that there? That's what you got out there. See there? That's what you got out there. That's somebody begging with a kid there. You see that there? The migrants are back. When ICE was here, all those migrant beggars were gone. Now ICE left, they're back. Those are child exploitation people. They exploit their children right there. It's illegal under state and city law to use a child when you're begging. You can't do that. They're out there right now, man. The city won't do nothing about it. We got a little bit of traffic jam here, it looks like. But, like I said, there ain't nobody here. You see that there? There you go. The child exploiters are back there. You see that there? ICE left, and those people are back. They're exploiting their children. You see that there? You see, there's no one out here. There's nobody out here. I mean, and people say, well, it's cold, it's this, it's that. Well, it's Tuesday, I don't know. It's Chicago, right? There you go. You got ambulances. That's what you got.
This afternoon, lots of clouds with a high around 43, a low tonight of 33. Could get a little rain tomorrow with a high of 47. Right now, 41 at O'Hare, 44.
ICE left town and they came out with their kids again. These migrants using their children to peddle on city streets. 4:10 p.m. Michigan Avenue. March 3rd, 2026.
Plus, you can access the ultra-fast speeds and coverage when you're poolside or out live streaming on the T-Rex. Oh, still, you're about to go viral.
That's where we're at, right? I think the main thing that I want to talk about today, besides what we'll listen to the news and radio calls, we don't know where we're going to end up, is... You know, it's okay and we can talk and do things, but I talked to a good friend of mine today. I've known her almost, over 20 years now. And we're like, okay, it's good. Let's talk. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's write some papers. Let's get on TV. Let's do all of this stuff. But in the end, what are we going to do? When are we going to actually do something to change something? You kind of get what I mean? It's like, what's the saying? All talk, no action. Well, I'm doing action. I'm driving. That's one thing, right? But in the end, what are we gonna do together to change actually what's going on, right? What are we gonna do, right? You see, there's no one out here, right? There's a whole bunch of cops there. There's 5 cops sitting right there. Look, there's a few people walking here. That's about it. We'll go down Michigan Avenue today, and then we'll circle back, right? Yesterday we went on Wacker. Remember we went that way? Today we'll go straight down, right? Today we'll go straight down.
Scott was fatally stabbed last summer while riding a train home from work in North Carolina. The mural depicts her from the shoulders up with her name written in white with the dates 2002 to 2025. Now black paint splotches dot the mural that received mixed reviews from the Ukrainian community. Some saw the mural as a homage to Ukrainian refugees. Others felt the mural was misguided and in poor taste. Well, some faculty at DePaul speaking out after the school announced it would be closing its art museum.
6 DePaul professors have written an open letter to the university urging it to reconsider its decision to permanently close the DePaul Art Museum. The statement highlights the, quote, internal and substantive pedagogical value of the museum's collection and also notes the external contribution that the museum makes toward bolstering DePaul's profile as an institution so committed to the arts that it's built an arts corridor. DePaul confirmed that it would be closing the museum permanently at the end of June. The news comes 2 months after the university laid off 114 employees. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Downstate caretaker faces charges after prosecutors say she covered up the death of a woman for years.
59-year-old Gina English Weed allegedly told Springfield police detectives that she found 86-year-old Lily Prindle dead in August of 2022, but did not notify authorities. Officers discovered Prindle's badly decomposed body inside her home on November 6th of last year while conducting a welfare check. Neighbors told them English Wheat lived nearby and was her caretaker. Detectives later discovered a number of withdrawals from Prindle's bank account totaling about $130,000 that English Wheat allegedly made. English Wheat is currently only charged with concealment of death, and she was released from custody with conditions pending her trial. Mai Martinez, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
If you love sports, this is the show for you. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Weekday mornings 9 to noon Eastern on the free Odyssey app and YouTube at The Costos. Bringing you the biggest NFL news, guests, and notes from the offseason while getting you ready to win the madness of college hoops. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos. Live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the news is on, and maybe we'll put on some radio calls today. We'll see what's happening.
Sports talk from people who love sports.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio.
There's a little bit of people out there. You see that there, but not too many. It gets bottlenecked here because the buses, Uber drivers park in those lanes and the buses cut into the second lane. That's why it gets crowded over here. But there's no one walking there. You see that, right? What you want to watch here is two sides. Millennium Park and the other side, right?
Most spots will drop to 33 tonight under a mostly cloudy sky. Now tomorrow's still pretty cloudy. There might be a bit of rain late, especially south of I-80. Tomorrow's high about 47, and then rain will overspread the rest of the area heading into tomorrow night with a low around 39. Into Thursday, some showers, perhaps even a thunderstorm, especially through about midday. Thursday's high about 47. We'll have a couple of showers, probably a better chance of a thunderstorm Friday, especially during the afternoon. It will be a much warmer day Friday, a high of 65, and still pretty warm into Saturday. There might be an early shower. Most of the day will turn out dry as clouds break for some sun, but it will become windy. High 61 early. Temperatures falling into the 50s, although we should see highs back into the 60s again heading into Sunday. 39 degrees at O'Hara and at Midway right now. It's 39 in Schaumburg, 34 at the lakefront, and we are going down to 33 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson.
All right, Brian, thanks so much. It is 4:16, time for sports, sponsored by IBEW.
It's 4:16 p.m. March 3rd. There's no one at Millennium Park. It's completely abandoned. It's, 39 degrees. It's a little chilly. But this is the main attraction in our city. The Bean, there's no one there. Look at it. They got all those security barriers. I mean, what do you think? Why would you have all those security barriers? It kind of scares people, right? So that's the, you guys can see it on my live feed. See that there? There's no one in there. There's no one walking there. When I worked downtown, that used to be an ice skating rink. That was packed. It was always packed. It was always packed. Anyone who's been in downtown knows what I'm talking about, that ice rink there. It was always packed. Look at that. There's no one there. It's 0 people. No one. No one. Absolutely no one. Look, it's completely abandoned. Our main attraction, Millennium Park, is completely and utterly abandoned. 0 people. There's no people in there. You can say, oh, I see a couple, 1 or 2. 1 or 2 people into a 2.5 million person city, 8 to 9 million metropolitan area is 0. Got that? Then you look on the other side of the street. This is where our institute is. Right? They just got that, what did they get? They got a Norman Rockwell one from the Cubs dugout one. Look at that. There ain't nobody walking here. There's no one walking here. Look. There's no one walking here. There's stores that are closed. That whole store is closed. If that store closed, that means they can't make no business, right? You see that there? But look, there's no one out here. There's 0 people. There's no one walking. This is the middle of our city. This is Chicago. You can say, look, there's the temperature, there's the time, the date is March 3rd, it's a Tuesday, there's no one here. Now, I don't know, is the museum closed, open? I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But there's no activity here. There's zero activity. There's no activity. There's no rush hour activity. Look at the streets. They're completely empty. See that there? The streets are completely empty. There's no foot traffic. There's no taxi traffic, and there's not even what I don't like, the Uber traffic. There's no look at that. It's completely abandoned here. Look, both ways. Look. There's nobody here, right? There's some cars right there. There's a few cars there, but look, that whole area is closed. See that there? Look, there's another store closed. This area here of the city used to be the theater kind of district. Right here, this is a very high-class theater dickers. Congress Hotel, the Hilton Hotel, the Palmer House. This is all expensive theaters, symphonies, plays, and all that stuff, like Les Miserables and all of that. They used to be all up in the... This is where all the fancy people used to come at one time. These all had theaters in them. The Chicago Theater, there was a theater inside of this thing that holds... It was the biggest theater inside of that building there in the world at one time. Look at that. There's no one here. It's completely abandoned. There's no one in downtown Chicago. Zero. I got a video of earlier coming in and I couldn't believe it. I didn't see anybody. You can say, well, I see some cars there, Joe. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, if you see those cars and you think that's a lot, then you must be from a suburb. Then you must not be from a city. You must not be from a metropolitan area. You see that side there? Look at that side. Look at the other side there. There's spaces there. There's only 2 cars on that side. That's 2 cars. That's 2 cars there. You see that there? There's 2 cars. That's all that was. See that there? There was 2 cars there. If you say that's people, then you're a hillbilly. I'm sorry to say you're a hillbilly. You're a hillbilly or some weird suburbanite from, I don't know, Frankfurt or wherever, some streeter or some beach park or beach, whatever, beacher or whatever it is, where they have like 50 people, or you have like your downtown is in a strip mall, one of them suburbs, right, where you don't have nothing. I'm not putting you down, I'm just saying you don't understand what a city is, right? Look, see that there? That's the main hotel there. It's completely empty. We're going south on Michigan Avenue. Yesterday they said I was on whack or I didn't know what I was doing. Well, now I'm on Michigan, South Michigan. Again, these were all theaters. These are all hotels. There's a reason there's hotels here. There's a reason there's theaters here. Because this was the famous strip here, Michigan Avenue. It was up until, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. And it has nothing to do with COVID. I mean, people say COVID. Yeah, COVID's over with, right? And it has nothing to do with what we see today. I mean, that's just... doesn't make sense, right? There you go, right? And we're going to go over here to Roosevelt, and then we're going to go hit the dope spot over here, the South Loop dope spot, the spot where they say is not a dope spot. Yet, a month ago, they arrested 9 people for drug conspiracy there, selling drugs and guns and whatever. It's funny how you make these videos and you document what's going on, and then you say things, right? Because I observe them. And then, a year or 2 later, the sheriffs bust 9 or 10 people, and it's a drug conspiracy. There was a drug conspiracy there. Cook County cops. It was a drug conspiracy to sell drugs right there by the red line, orange line, green line stop. Right there, South Loop. South Loop drug conspiracy. And people say, it's not a drug spot. They don't sell drugs there. It's not what you say. But yet, the sheriffs... arrested. So this is what you have. This is what I talk about the Ubers. You see the Uber there? He's actually blocking the turning lane right there. See that there? And then there. So he's blocking there, right? There you go. And he blocks traffic. So there you go, right? So this is the dope spot over here. The South Loop dope spot right here. 8 or 9 guys were busted for drug conspiracy here. I used to come here every morning for 3.5 years. I used to go to school out here at Washington College. I used to be on that platform coming from the south side. I used to be on that platform every day for 3 years. 3 years on that platform right there every morning to come to class. I got a associate's degree from Harold Washington College. Yeah, right there every morning. They used to be the Roosevelt Hotel right there. That's what that was called. See that there? There's no one here. Look on the platform. There's no one up on the platform. It's 4:23 p.m. There's no one up there. There's no one up on that platform up there, right? And then this is the dope spot, right? So they cleaned up the dope spot by the train, and then they were over by the Dunkin' Donuts over there. But it looks like it's pretty much cleaned up over here, right? There you go. I'm sure they still sell out of cars and stuff here. This is a big spot, man. They make thousands of dollars a day. The reason is it's because of a transportation hub, right? A few guys here, they'll come here. You'll see the stragglers coming here looking for the dope, right? And one of the reasons they did bust a joint, and it's funny that people say this is not a drug spot, but the reason that building there has been converted from a cleaners to a substation of the Cook County Sheriff is specifically that this was a dope spot. That's a Cook County satellite office in the South Loop, and it was specifically for the drug dealing conspiracies that were happening here. Right there, that's what it was. So anybody who tells you they didn't sell dope here is lying to you. Anybody that says drug dealing is good for a neighborhood is lying to you, right? So there you go, right? These are all sheriff's cars. You see that there? They were put here, that substation was put here because of the drug dealing. SubX.News on the spot reporting, 4:25 p.m., March 3rd, 2026. There you go. There you go. You got a guy walking around right there. There's a dude dealing right there. Yeah, there's dealers all around here. They're walking around there in their cars is what they are now.
You know, it may be time to upgrade your mattress.
South Michigan Avenue, the Bean in Millennium Park, completely empty and abandoned. Our main city attraction has no one here. There's no one walking on Michigan Avenue. There's nothing going on. In the middle of the evening rush. March 3rd, 2026.
Call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sandwich pros, meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift.
Let's hear the radio. I got a police radio here. Let's listen to that. Let's see what the police are saying today, right?
Yep, it is 08632.
Watch, there's a lot of. There you go. See that? That's a TAC team. Right.
Shots fired outside of the house and the alley, 3 different guns. And shots fired at the front on our radio.
Shots fired, 63rd Street. That's what you just heard. Now I smell weed out here, right? You can smell the weed coming into my car. I have my windows closed. That whole building is closed there. I'm smelling weed right now. Who wants to smell that, right? I don't care if you smoke weed. I believe it should be decriminalized. But I don't want to smell it. See, that's the difference. When you're an ignorant person and you're selfish and you don't think of others, that's what happens. That's what you see in our city. You have an ignorant, selfish mayor. And I always say this. I didn't like the Dailies. I didn't like the old man. I didn't like Junior. I don't like either one of those guys. But at least those guys, they were corrupt. They knew they couldn't be too greedy. They knew they had to give back to the city. They knew they had to do a little service. This guy that we have, the mayor today we have, he's a greedy little scumbag. He's a leech. The mayor we have today is a leech. That's all he knows. He's never had a job. He's never worked hard for a living. He's a leech. And that's all he knows. All he knows is to steal, take, and stay in power. That's all he knows. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know how to build anything. He doesn't know how to make things better. He doesn't know how to create something. You see, he's about to lose the Bears. He's about to lose the Bears. It's a $1 billion operation. He's about to lose it. And he's talking about soccer. Yeah, soccer is okay. I don't mind soccer. I like soccer. But if you're trading the Bears for the fire, yeah, you're pretty stupid. I'm sorry. I love soccer, but you're pretty stupid. This is the afternoon news.
SiriusXM.com/app to find out more.
There's a
The
world.
4:30 news is usually local.
First Wave, where 80s era alternative and cult classics play 24/7.
Community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. And be sure to ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
Hey, it's 4:30. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. Here are the top stories on News Radio WBBM. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem testifies to congressional lawmakers for the first time since federal agents shot and killed 2 Minnesota residents. A new series of eye-catching billboards slated to go up in the Chicago area this week. Ground broken on a new Chicago Fire Stadium in the South Loop. Plus, Americans abroad in the Middle East are urged to evacuate as the U.S. and Israeli conflict with Iran marks its 4th day. Sports and a surprise move. Bears center Drew Dahlman reportedly retiring at the age of 27 in business.
Another day of losses on Wall Street on worries about the U.S. war against Iran. The Dow today down 404 points. The NASDAQ down 232. The S&P lost 65. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
39 degrees, cloudy skies at 4:31. The news continues, sponsored by First American Bank. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem faced the Judiciary Committee today. She was taking questions from lawmakers on the actions of ICE agents. WBBM's Glenn Marshall has the story.
The president said over and over at his rallies, we're going after the worst of the worst, the terrorists, the murderers. And then it turns out that 85% of the people you've gone after have no criminal history whatsoever.
Strong words coming from Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, their fourth Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. It was one of the tense moments during the questioning on immigration agents' actions. Right now, DHS is partially funded while lawmakers continue to assess their actions, questioning their tactics that have left multiple people dead, including Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal brought up Chicago resident Miramar Martinez, who was shot 5 times by a patrol agent.
Would you agree with me that he shouldn't be on the job?
I would look into this case and get back to you on the details. I'm not
I think
familiar
Americans
with it.
would find it absolutely terrifying that that agent is still on the job carrying a gun.
Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Meantime, the group behind a new campaign involving billboards in Chicago and elsewhere says the goal is to inform and inspire residents.
The billboards are a part of a greater campaign that we have launched as Mi Gente to really be able to articulate the cost of ICE.
20th Ward Alderperson Jesse Fuentes says that includes a billboard that reads, "Your tax dollars wasted. ICE cruelty is costing you $28 billion.
When we're watching things like Medicaid get slashed in half, housing costs get slashed in half, groceries continue to go up, what we're saying is that our tax dollars should be spent on ensuring that our lives can be more affordable here in our city and across the country.
Fuentes says part of the goal is to remind Chicagoans and others that ICE has not gone away. and to keep that in mind at the polls.
These are the things that constituents need to know so that they can hold their congressional representatives accountable. Because this is $172 million that can help in our groceries costs, right? That's another $120 million that could go towards Medicaid.
Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Chicago is one step closer to game time in the South Loop. This afternoon, the Chicago Fire and community members broke ground for their new stadium near Roosevelt and Clark along the Chicago River. Here's team owner Joe Mansueto.
Iconic sporting events will be held right here, including when the Chicago Fire win the MLS Cup and we host the trophy over our heads.
The new stadium is expected to seat more than 22,000 people and open ahead of the 2028 MLS season. Developers believe the $750 million privately funded stadium will create up to 15,000 jobs in the 78. 4:33 around the nation and around the world now. President Trump defending the U.S. attack against Iran. He says, quote, it had to be done.
The attacks happened even as nuclear talks were going on between U.S. and Iranian negotiators.
Based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first.
Speaking from the Oval Office during a meeting with Germany's chancellor, President Trump said Iran responded by attacking its own neighbors.
They're evil and they're bad.
Oil prices have surged on the global market following the attacks, but the president does not seem worried.
Those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before.
Germany's chancellor concurred.
All hope that this war will come to an end as soon as possible.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Comes as the State Department urges Americans to leave the Middle East as the fighting with Iran continues.
There you go. We're in downtown Chicago. This is called The Loop. It's 4:35 p.m. I just did a circle in the middle of the street. You want to see one more circle? You want to know how many circles you think I can do? See the circle there? I just did 2 circles in the middle of downtown. See that there? See that there? How many circles did I just make in the middle of downtown? Got that? This is Macy's right here. It used to be Marshall Fields. We're at Madison and State. How many circles did I just make? How many circles did I just make in the middle of downtown? It's 4:35 p.m. 4:35 on a Tuesday. March 3rd, 2026. I just did 3 circles. There you go. He's messing around, that guy. You see that guy there? Huh? How many circles did you just see me do in the middle of downtown Chicago? How many people do you count on the sidewalk? Count how many people you see there. How many people you see walking there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't even see 10 people to our main marquee attraction. There's not even 10 people on this block. There was 3 people there. 3 people right here. 3 total. 3 total people. How many people do you see here? You can't tell me it's cold. It doesn't matter. It's 4:36. What does cold have to do with downtown Chicago? It has nothing to do with downtown. 0. Nothing. Nada. Nilch. 9. There's no one here. It's abandoned. Here, right? We'll go back, right? If you want. There you go. You want to see one more time? You want me to go down again? It's empty. We're going to go down Wacker next, or Wabash, right? There you go. Completely empty, man. There ain't nobody here. That train is empty. Look at the train. It's empty.
Quick, one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And get this, Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow. Works for men and women across all ages. I personally recommend Advanced Hair to everyone. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 872-217-HAIR.
There's no cars. There's nobody here. Hey, what's up, Sarai? I'm live feeding, so I just got to warn you on that, all right? You're on my live feed.
Okay, Danny, I had to give me a call later tomorrow. I need to get with you, and I need to get with you.
All right, I'll talk to you in a minute, all right? Give me about till 7:30, okay?
All right, peace.
Talk to you later. Bye. So, there's no one here. Look, in front of us. How many cars do you see in front of us? How many cars do you see in front of us?
Hair.com. That's it.
Count. Count. Look how many blocks ahead of me there is. You want to see in back of me? Look at this. Look, there's no cars in back of me. That guy's in the light. That guy's in the back of the light. I'm stopped. I'm stopped on Lake Street at 4:38 p.m. I'm stopped here in the middle of the road. This is Lake Street. That guy ain't even coming here. You see that there? Look. There's no cars here. Look. 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks. There's 3 blocks in front of me. There's no cars. 0 cars. None. You got that? No cars. I'm parked right here. Look, you see me? I'm not moving. There's no one beeping over. Now there's a guy coming, so I gotta move. There's no cars here. It's completely empty. I don't know what to say to people. The people keep saying it's this or it's that. It's not nothing, man. It's completely abandoned. Downtown Chicago is completely abandoned. There's no one here. And there's a reason for it. It has nothing to do with COVID. One of them is crime. When you have people murdered in your downtown, people don't want to come here. There's multiple people been murdered in our downtown. It's been covered up, right, by the city. That's the problem, right? That's the problem we have. When you cover up crime, it harms you, right? You can't do that covering up stuff. There you go, man. It's empty. I don't know. So we showed you Michigan Avenue. We showed you State Street. We just showed you Lake Street. Now we're on Wabash. There's a little bit of people here, right? There's a little bit of people here, right? There's some cops sitting in their car, I guess. I don't know what they're doing. Let's keep moving, right? This used to be busier. It's 4:40 p.m., right?
Hour to I-90 and an hour.
I should put on the radio calls. I'm not.
Stevenson outbound 45 in Detroit State, 1 hour 5 and 26 in.
Thanks a lot.
Pretty typical backups on either side through the Gold Coast to Overland Park, and southbound traffic pretty heavy as you make your way into Jackson Park. Your next report from the Metro Traffic Center, 448 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
WBBM active weather, mainly cloudy as we head into tonight. We'll get down to a low of 33. It's going to be a cloudy day tomorrow. Could be a little bit of rain late, especially south of I-80 with a high of 47. And then some steadier, more widespread rain into tomorrow night, a low of 39. Cloudy Thursday, some showers, even a thunderstorm, especially through about midday. Thursday's high 47. 39 degrees at O'Hara and Midway right now, 43 in Aurora.
Northbound State Street from Van Buren, 4:30 p.m.
4:40, the Supreme Court blocks a
There's
redraw
not even
of the
100
New
or
York congressional
200
map,
people
citing
out
its
on the whole
Republicans.
State Street.
It's over the boundaries of the only GOP-held congressional district in New York City. The ruling also goes against the lower court ruling that the district is unfair to Black and Hispanic residents. The outcome is a victory for Republicans in a national tug-of-war over redistricting that could determine control of the closely divided House of Representatives. The nation's colleges and universities are seeing a spike in students with one type of disability.
The number of college students reporting emotional disabilities increased more than 50% over the last decade, according to an analysis of government data by the New York Times. The rise corresponds with a big increase in the diagnosing of ADHD and autism.
CBS's Jim Crisulo, the increases have been seen from small liberal arts colleges to large research universities. Well, today is Tuesday, and the New Business Hour always talks about Travel Tuesday, and today we're talking about practicing a vacation. Taking a practice vacation before taking your dream one.
A bucket list trip is a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. But what if that once-in-a-lifetime vacation is underwhelming? It happens.
And I do think it's about setting expectations, and part of your planning for a bucket list trip might be taking a precursor trip in advance.
Angie Rice with She Buys Travel in Scottsdale, Arizona tells the New Business Hour that some example bucket list practice runs include an Alaskan cruise before a trip to Antarctica and a multi-city train trip across the country before a rail tour of Europe. Rob Hart, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
It's 4:42.
March 17th isn't just
Let me pull over. I'll throw on the radio call. See what we're missing on the crime beat, right? There you go. I don't know what else to say. We just did 3 main streets, right? You don't see nobody driving here, right? I'm parked here. What, you want to count how many cars you see? Why don't you count the cars? If you count 100 cars driving by, I'll give you $10. I'll give you $10 if you get to 100. $10 I give you.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI, and you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free.
They're going to listen to some radio calls now, citywide one. See what the crime's going on.
Partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great.
We'll go back. It's 4:40. We'll go back to about 4 o'clock. How about that?
7386 Adam. 7386 Adam. Let me get a number for Roosevelt Red Line. Yep, that is 08181.
397 Charlie.
797 Charlie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alex. Can you show us taking or arresting back to 30 miles, 515?
All right. It is 15:54 on the clock.
7383.
7386, Eddie. So what's the female unit coming in? Good.
7388 Adam.
88 Adam, good.
Blue Line Medical District. Can we get a VIN number?
Yeah, that is 08208. And 7386 Eddie, I think it was. 7386 Eddie. Go ahead. Make this a 1 Paul. 1 Paul and all. All right. 081 5 Paul. 5 Paul. 5 Paul. Okay, no problem. 08155. 08155.
7384.
784 boy.
Navigate example 69 at the red platform.
Yep, that is 08215. 7383 Edward. 73 Eddie. Can I get an event number for red line 47? Yep, that is 08219. And then from that person shot too, before I forget, that one is 07931. 07931.
07931. Remember that. 09731 event. Person shot. 09371. 09371. Person shot.
Dark clothing with an Audi bag over his shoulder with a switch knife in his hand. Last name westbound. District 19 zone 2.
09371. Where they at? We gotta go backwards a little bit, right?
78 Friday.
We're riding the train back from Garfield back to Roosevelt Road. We are on train car 5703. We'll get after that number, please.
Okay, that is 08255.
Oh, thank you.
Where was the person shot? We gotta figure that one out. Anybody hear that earlier? So let's go back maybe to 3 o'clock. Might have happened around 3:30, right? Let's go back a little bit, right? We're gonna try to figure out where that person was shot.
You at Jacksonville?
Parking Lake. You can make it for a disturbance.
Parking Lake. Okay, got it. All right, that is 07770. 07770.
10-4, thank you. Charlie, dude.
Is it 88?
Parking Lake.
Charlie News?
One of the tense moments during a question.
7, Charlie, David.
Sorry, 87, go ahead.
Another train check for train 216, Logan Square, going over here.
Okay, that one is 07778.
We're trying to figure out where that shooting happened. Anybody else know?
783.
Quiet. Presence check. Thank you for the red line.
Yep, that is 07779.
7384 Eddie.
74 Eddie.
Okay, we have an event number. We're riding the train from Cermak to Roosevelt. We're on car 5501.
Okay, that is 07803.
7387 Charlie David.
787 Charlie.
Yeah, good event for the train car number 139 Logan Square.
I think it was, there was a shooting down on 63rd, they said. Wasn't that? That's what we heard earlier, wasn't it? I thought it was 63rd Street.
7370.
Good afternoon, Alex. Can you let those units know at Logan Square that it's just one event number for the mission?
Okay, 10-4. 7-3, who was up there? 87 Charlie and David?
Yeah, we copy.
Okay, very good. Thank you. 7384, Eddie, you were coming in?
7387. I couldn't catch that number. Could you read it back to me again, please?
Yeah, 84 Eddie, your event number 07803. 07803.
I'm not sure, but there might have been a shooting down on 63rd Street.
And then the other unit that's coming in, good?
63rd Street, right?
87 Adam.
Could you show us a boy on the blue line in Cumberland?
Yep, that is 07823.
10-4.
I got the event number, so we're fine.
83 Frank.
That's what I should do.
78 Frank.
Event number for Thermac Red.
Yep, that is 07829.
24th City West person denied Rogers Park. Survivors lost enough. Male walking around the door to the park, male white. Black hoodie. And southwest baseball field in the parking lot outside the tree window.
4717.
471.
The homeland number 5861 North Cotton.
Alright, Timber, that is up. There you go.
Did you count 100 people yet? I don't think you did. I ain't gonna wait for you. Here, you know how I know there ain't 100 people here? You see all that street level parking there? See all that parking? It's all empty. I know there ain't 100 people. It'll take you an hour or two to get to 100 if you get that much. I don't even think you'll get that far. You see that there? Look it up. See all that? It's all empty. It's completely empty. And there ain't nobody here, man. There's no one here.
59 feet from Wabash.
Yep, that is 07865.
7384 boy.
784.
Can we get the event number for the platform at 69th and the red?
Yep, that is 07869.
7383 Adam.
It's 451. Look in front of me. How many blocks do you see in front of me? We're going south on Wabash. What, 2, 3, 4 blocks? See all the street level parking? There's nobody here. There's no one here. Miller's Pub, Palmer House, there's nobody here. Look at across the street. There's multiple spaces open. Those are parking spots, right? All that surface parking is open. There's no one in downtown. It's 0 people. 0. There ain't nobody here. You can say, oh, John, you exaggerate. There's people in front of it. Look, one more time. Go to any downtown in any society. You'll never see street level parking empty like that. It's abandoned here. Look at that. It's an abandoned downtown. They all lying to you, man. It's dangerous here. They kill people on this street on Wabash. Multiple people been murdered on this street. Multiple people, man. Got that? There's that street level parking. It's all empty. This is a major city. 2.5 million people, and you got street parking empty in your downtown. Look, there's street parking everywhere. Don't you see that there? That's how you tell. You can't go to London, Tokyo, Mexico City, New York, LA. You can't go to any of those cities and find street level parking in the downtown. You're in the central district. This is right in the middle. We're right in the middle of the city. There's no other middle. This is it. You could not find it in any town. Nowhere. Not even some shithole town, wherever the hell you're going to. Imagine that. How many, you see all that street parking empty? That's the tell. Anyone can say whatever they want about the weather, it's COVID, it's all kinds of other bullshit, right? That's the tell. The street level parking shows there's no one here. Look, that shows what? There's no workers, there's nobody doing business, and there's nobody here as a tourist. So the three things that created Chicago downtown of commerce: workers that work downtown, people who do business downtown, and tourists. None of the three are here. It's all empty. All three have been wiped out. Do you guys get what I'm trying to tell you here? I know I'm facetious sometimes, and maybe I talk a weird way, and maybe you don't like what I say. I'm gonna explain it to you one more time. The people who work downtown, the people who did business downtown, and the people who were tourists downtown or leisure, right? None of them are down here. Zero. Look, see that there? Empty parking spaces. You wanted me to go in that parking lot and show you it's empty? It's empty. Brandon Johnson's a lying scumbag leech. He's a leech. And anyone who tells you the city is okay is a lying scumbag who steals. You see all that empty parking space in front of us? Look up in front of us. You see that up there? Look, right up there. Right there. You see that up there on both sides? It's empty. See that block there? That whole block is empty. Behind that is Robert Morris University. It's empty. That whole block. This whole block here. This side and the other side is completely empty. There's no buildings there. There's no businesses there. The only thing is you have the youth hostel on the corner there. That's it. That's all you got.
59 West 13th Street. 1059 West 13th Street. Mr. Koskin, the school clerk, is calling about a 13-year-old male black student who's on probation with CPD that's threatening and assaulting the assistant principal and refusing to leave the school. I have no description on him, nothing further. 12th District, Zone 3.
What school was that? Threatening the principal? What was that?
7384, David. City units in 12 citywide and assault in progress at the Smith Magnet School, 1059 West 13th Street. 1059 West 13th Street. Mr. Koskin, the school clerk, is calling about a 13-year-old male...
Smith Magnet School, 13-year-old threatening the principal, refusing to leave.
Male black student who's on probation with CPD that's threatening and assaulting the assistant principal and refusing to leave the school. I have no description on him, nothing further. 12th District, Zone 3.
We didn't find out where that shooting happened, huh?
Train mission from Roosevelt to 55th. 5358.
Let me pull over.
That is 08059.
There. Let me show you. Oh.
Alright, just for the air, at 47 at Wells, they've determined that the victim is not shot. He just has a lot of blood on his hands. They're trying to figure out why, obviously, but again, the victim right now is not shot.
47th and Wells. That's the shooting call, right? There you go. It's empty here. See that? That's a hotel right in front of us. See that there? There's a stabbing inside that hotel before.
Number 1340, westbound 79 Street from Homestead. Check, that is 08065. Alright, for my units over at 95 of the red line, 95th the red line, giving a call for an assault in progress. The caller was upset that two officers spoke to him and said he was going to get his gun and have a shootout. I'm not sure what officers he spoke with. 7383 Adam or 7383 boy? 7383 Adam.
Shootout, baby!
We'll go down and make sure everything's okay. We're on red line north right now, and this is where they were.
A shootout, baby! 95th red line. They're gonna have a shootout tonight. Probably dice, right?
Red line got 7 David, 10-4. That is 080.
There you go, right?
074. Thank you. Marine 2, Citywide 1. Marine 2, how we doing? Doing well, thank you. I'll grab one for the main branch, please. Okay, that one is 08085. 08085. advised. So, this is going to be 9th District. 9th District is going to handle this, so myself and my car, we're going back to the red line. Alright, number.
73 for Charlie.
78 to Charlie.
Number for 69 red line, please.
Yep, it's 08102.
7384,
784, boy.
I'm getting a car ride, 96 in the red, going northbound car, 5673.
Okay, that is 08112.
Thank you. Adam.
787 Adam.
Can you show us and boy at Jefferson Park in the blue line?
Okay, that is 08120.
That's what.
So that's 43rd and Wells.
78680.
Right, they're shooting, right?
Yep, that is 08129.
Person isn't shot, but has a lot of blood on him. 43rd and Wells.
Can you get an event number for Servant in the red? Yeah, good afternoon. That is 08143. 10-4.
For the units in 9 and Citywide, getting a call of a person with a gun at 43rd and Union. A third party states a third Jeep Cherokee occupied 3 times by males armed with guns, flashed it at citizens, and took off westbound from the location. Got no furthers on 13.
7383 George. 783 George.
Number 8918, westbound 79th Street from Ashton.
Okay, that is 08150. 738-680. 738-680.
Yeah, we're getting flagged down by a disturbance over here. Lower level by the booth. I'll let you know.
Alright, 10-4.
7386 Adam.
786 Adam.
Let me get a number for Roosevelt Red Line.
Yep, that is 08181.
7397 Charlie.
797 Charlie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alex. Can you show us taking our arrestee back to 30 miles and 515?
Alright, it is 1554 on the clock.
Person threatening a shootout at 95th Street Red Line Station.
7386 Eddie. So what's the female unit coming in good?
7388 Adam.
Yeah, good.
Blue Line Medical District, can we get a red number?
Yeah, that is 08208. And 736 Eddie, I think it was? 736 Eddie. Go ahead. Takes into 1 Paul.
3383 Adam.
7 Adam.
Can you please have a number for 95th in the red line north?
Yep, that is 09080.
And we're caught up on our radio calls, so we have a shootout threatening on 95th Street and 43rd Street. That one event that we picked up that said there might have been a shooting. They said it's not a shooting. I'm getting these spam calls here. Why they're sending me stuff, but whatever. We got an idea for some radio shows, so we're going to see how that works out. I got a new idea for a show. We're going to take spam calls. And why don't we do this? Let's call this guy. Let's call this number and see what he wants. We're going to start calling spammers. We're gonna call spammers. That's what we're gonna do. It's a new show, Spam to Spammers, or Scam to Scammers. That's what we're gonna, Scam to Scammers. I don't know what we're gonna call this. Spam to Scammers, I don't know what we'll call it. We're gonna create a new show here, okay?
We are unable to take your call right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
Yeah, alrighty. I don't know, are you guys spammers or scammers, or are you trying to rip me off? I think you are. I think you guys are crooks. Yeah, I don't want you calling me no more. Have a good day. Alright, we're gonna go. I got all these spams on my phone. We're gonna do that. Alright, what do you guys think? Is that a good thing there or what? Joffrey, man, we got a whole bunch of these, man. I got a whole bunch, and they just been beeping on my phone here, right? Let's see this thing here. Oh man, I even got one from an alderman that I don't like anymore. Oh, that's interesting, huh? Should we call him up? Nah, we won't do that. We ain't gonna do that. And then they'll say we were embarrassing them in public. Alright, we're gonna go down the road here, right? We're gonna see. So we're caught up on our radio calls. That's where we're at. So the biggest thing I think I heard today from the radio calls, and we're gonna keep listening, is that there's a 13-year-old on probation at an elementary school threatening the assistant principal with violence. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? And that was a wild call. Smith School, that's out west. You guys caught that one, right? A 13-year-old on probation threatening the assistant principal. Now that's pretty wild stuff there, man. We'll go back a few minutes.
Frank. Getting bed number for Thermac Red platform. 10-4, that's 08890.
2383 George.
783 George.
Bus number 1335, westbound 79th Street from Ashland.
Okay, that is 08899.
Frank.
786 Frank.
Okay, we're hopefully get another number for Howard Redline, please.
Yep, that is 08958.
7386 boy.
786 boy.
Jackson, the back number, please.
Yeah, that is 08986.
Thank you so much, Mike. So much.
Yep.
7372.
7372.
Squad, can I get an event number for 87th in the red?
Yep, that is 08997.
4719.
4719.
Can you went out to United Center for the game time, please? Very nice, thank you.
Nope.
7383 David.
783 David. Yep, that is 09041. Alright, if anyone's in the area, Roosevelt, the red line of Roosevelt, says outside of CTA, there's a metal black red jacket and pants who is waving a fire extinguisher around.
That's right here.
Who do I have over there?
All right here. We should turn around, huh? That's right here. Where's the guy at?
Chicago Point Point Radio Standard. 30th March 2026. Chicago Point Point Radio is clear.
That's right here, man.
7386 Adam.
Roosevelt Red Line.
Yeah,
somebody with a fire extinguisher.
At Wabash and Chicago.
Okay, no problem. Event number for that one's going to be 09052. Anybody else over by Roosevelt and the red line?
It's supposed to be some maniac with a fire extinguisher swinging at people right here. Roosevelt Red Line.
The individual is outside the green line entrance on Roosevelt. Doesn't currently have the fire extinguisher, but he is still there.
Alright, that's fine.
He's right here. Maniac. We got another maniac on the CTA, man. It's non-stop maniacs. Fire extinguisher wacko, right? I bet you it's that guy walking in the middle of traffic. I bet you it's that guy right over there, man. In the middle of traffic.
787
We're gonna drive.
Show us a boy at Cumberland and the Blue Line.
Swinging a fire extinguisher at people, huh?
070.
We're gonna go look around. We're gonna see if we find this fire extinguisher guy here, right?
3383 Adam.
787.
Can you please have a number for 95th in the red line north?
Alrighty, let's go look around. Mr. Fire Extinguisher. I told you this is the dope spot. They get mad because there ain't no dope over here no more, right? Let's see what's going on.
7388 Charlie and David.
738 Charlie.
Yeah, we're getting on at the medical district on the Blue Line going eastbound.
Oh, here he is. There's a guy over there. I see him right now. There's a guy right in back of me. He's on the other side of the street.
Can I get an event number for 79th Street Red Line check, please?
There's a guy. He's right across the street.
43.
We're gonna try to get over there.
7388 Adam.
788 Adam.
Can I get a event number? We're going to ride west on the Blue Line from Kedzie.
Okay, that is 09153.
10-4, thank you.
Yep.
There's a guy over there. He's I see him. He's right in back of us.
7386 Frank.
786 Frank.
Just pull me an event number, assistant 2432, please.
Alrighty.
Alright, 10-4.
Now we're gonna go check out this guy with the fire extinguisher. But here. So this is the museum campus. Is right here, right? Michigan Avenue is there. Grant Park's there. It's all fancy here. It's the South Loop, right? The train is in back of us. You see that, right? You know it's bad when this is a main tourist attraction. The museum campus here. Go there, come back. What do people want in Chicago? What's the main thing that what people outsiders want? Pizza. Well, the pizza joint closed. That's Aurelio's. That's Aurelio's Pizza there. It's closed. So the pizza joint that's in front of the museum campus couldn't make it. The museum campus in Aurelio's is closed here, man. South Loop Aurelio's. I say it's because of the drug dealing and the corruption and stuff. But right there. Right there. That's Aurelio's Pizza. It's closed down. See that there? Right there. So imagine you're in the middle of this is a main hub there. That's a main train station. The museum campus is right in back of us. You can see the Shed Aquarium right in back of us. I believe that's a Shed Aquarium. This is a main area. So you have travelers, you have tourists, you have business people, you have everything that's here. There's no excuse for it. But the pizza joint couldn't make it. That's what you got there. Aurelio's. Look it up. They shut down. 20 years or so they were here. They shut down. Alright, so there's supposed to be somebody up here with a fire extinguisher. We don't see any cops. The problem is there's not enough cops. The sheriffs aren't taking care of this, so we're going to go really slowly here. We hope he don't throw the fire extinguisher at us. He was right here. I just seen a guy over here. He was walking around doing some wacky stuff over here, right? And there's the fire extinguisher right there. That's the dude right there, right? Maniac. There's the fire extinguisher right there, man. See that? The cops ain't even here. See that there? There it is, right there. Don't you see it? Look, the fire extinguisher's right on the ground. Don't you see it right there? There's no cops here. Look at that. There you go. SubX.News. They just called in for the fire extinguisher. There it is. There you go.
Let me get a number for Howard Redline, please.
Yep, that is 08958.
SubX.News 513. Roosevelt Red Line, Green Line. There's a report of a guy swinging a fire extinguisher here. You see that guy right there?
That is
You see the fire extinguisher on the floor? That's the guy there. He's all jacked up. This is a dope spot, by the way. See that there?
7372.
See that guy walking around? You see the fire extinguisher? There's no police here. That call came on the radio about 15 minutes ago. You see that there? Look at that. That guy right there. There you go. That's your response time in Chicago. Main transportation hub. We're at a main transportation hub. It's rush hour. We just had a guy with a gun yesterday at the Pink Line. Now we're at a main transportation hub, the Roosevelt Red Line. There's a call of a guy with a fire extinguisher swinging at people. And there's the fire extinguisher, and you see the guy. Look at him. There he goes. Look at him. He's acting erratic. Listen.
Says outside of CTA, there's a male black red jacket and pants who is waving a fire extinguisher around. What do I have over there?
Chicago Point for Radio Dependent.
That was 15 minutes ago, that call. There's no police here. There's no police.
7386 Adam.
Yeah, 86 Adam. We were about to take lunch at Wabash and Chicago.
Okay, no problem. Event number for that one's going to be 09052. Anybody else over by Roosevelt on the red line?
301 Sam.
Sorry, 316.
Yeah, that individual is outside the green line entrance on Roosevelt. Doesn't currently have the fire extinguisher, but he is still there.
Alright, that's fine.
There's no police here. That happened 15 minutes ago, that call.
383 Charlie.
7383 Charlie.
Yeah, number for 69 red line, please.
Yep, it is 09065.
7387 Adam.
There's the cops coming. There they come. SubX.News Live.
Okay, that is 09070.
3383 Adam.
78 Adam.
Can you please have a number for 95th in the red line north?
Yep, that is 09080.
7388 Charlie and David.
7388 Charlie.
Yeah, we're getting on at the medical district on the blue line going eastbound.
09139.
7383 boy.
79 boy.
Can I get an event number for 79th Street Red Line check, please?
09143.
7388 Adam.
78 Adam.
Can I get a event number? We're going to ride west on the blue line from Kedzie.
Okay, that is 09153.
10-4, thank you.
Yep.
7386 Frank.
786 Frank.
Just pull me an event number, assistant 2432, please.
Alright, 10-4, 09128. 09128.
So as you've seen, the police didn't arrest the guy. He walked away somewhere. He walked away. Who knows where he walked away? SubX.News, 5:18 p.m. We're here on a call of a man swinging a fire extinguisher during rush hour at the Roosevelt Green Line, Red Line, Orange Line. It's a major transportation hub. The police didn't show up till 15 minutes later. When they came, the guy just walked away from the police, and they did nothing about it. SubX.News, on the spot reporting. You just witnessed it. There you go. You guys seen that, right? SubX.News, 5.
Hey, for anybody in the area, Western Pink Line at Western.
Hi, this is Trademarks Experts. I saw that we just missed your call. How can I help? Hi, this is Trademarks Experts.
There's a lot of crazy people out here.
Outside the green line entrance on Roosevelt, doesn't.
Okay, no problem. VIN number for that one's going to be 0 over there. CTA, there's a
extinguisher, and you see the guy. Look at him. There he goes. Look at him. He's acting erratic. Listen, listen.
Roosevelt says outside of CTA.
Person swinging a fire extinguisher here at Roosevelt. Green line. During rush hour. He just walks away from the police.
Show us 143308.
About 5 p.m. March 3rd, 2026.
That is 09275.
SubX.News on the spot reporting. No one else does this reporting in the city of Chicago. No one. Zero. And there's a person screaming back at me. There's a jacked up place out here. You guys are watching it live. The guy just walked away. Did you see it? Wild, isn't it? You seen that, right, Marietta? You seen him, Ms. Zidor, right? SubX.News, live. Let me throw up my, She's screaming at him, right? That lady's screaming at him, right? That lady was screaming at the cops there. Did you see that? There you go.
2 units 1, 7387 unit code. 7388 Adam. Can I get a platform check for Blue Line Cicero? 88 Adam, yep, that is 09301. 10-4, thank you. Yep. 7386 Frank. 86 Frank. Yep, that is 093.
See, so that lady that was screaming went inside.
David, Garfield, Red Line.
Yep, that is 09307.
SubX.News. He's all jacked up. This is a dope spot. There you go. The person walks in there, right? You guys are watching this, ain't you? The one guy walks away, the next guy walks away, they're not arresting none of these people, right? Screaming, see that there? It's a mental illness issue here. Where's the social workers, right? Screaming, right? Did you hear that? Crazy, huh? You guys are watching it live right here, SubX.News. So the CTA is a dangerous area, right? You start to notice it? Pretty wild, huh? Now you guys are watching this live, ain't you? I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing at the lady. I'm not laughing at the dude. I'm laughing that this is what we're watching. This is what our society in Chicago's come to. No action, no help. Where's the counselors? Where's anybody? There's nothing happening here, right? You kind of get it? That's what I'm showing you here, right? There's nothing going on, right?
George. 78 George. Bus number 1457 going eastbound from Western on 79.
Yes, that is 09337.
SubX.News Live. This is every day in our city, all over. Got it? This is what's important. What you just saw. Look. The murderers and carjackers and armed robbers and brinks, that's one thing. This is everywhere in our city. It happens all the time, right? That dude's smoking a joint right there, right? Walking around, right? Whatever.
Okay, that is 09346.
Drug addiction, mental illness, got it? That's what you're watching, live. We're going to do a sunset tonight. What time is the sunset today? I don't even know. I think the sunset's right now, right? 5:28 something, right? You guys want to go do a sunset a little bit for a few minutes? Take a break from the crime? Maybe, right? Why don't we go do a little sunset, right? We'll pretend it's a sunset. We'll imagination a sunset, all right? There you go. SubX.News. On the spot. We're here before the cops were there. And what happened? One guy walks away. There's another lady that happens. It's a whole chaos. You just seen it unfold in front of your eyes. And, oh yeah, there's a sunset happening. Let's go get that sunset. Look at it. It's beautiful out. There you go. Let's go get that sunset. Let's go get it. So that's what we're watching. Did anyone see a social worker? Did anyone see a city worker? Did anyone see an NGO? Did anyone see anyone taking care of either one of those two people? The fire extinguisher guy or the other lady with the bags? You see no one. There's billions of dollars in our city that is being spent on NGOs, social workers, psychologists, treatments, all of the money that's being redirected from enforcement and crime fighting, billions. And what'd you see today? Not one person. You see the guy, look at him. There. Not one person was helping either one of those people. Erratic. Listen. You didn't see one person helping neither one of those people. Not one. They all lie. They all cheat. They all steal our money. Every person involved in Chicago politics, from the city to the state, even to the federal level, everyone should be removed from office. Everyone should be audited and put in prison for any money that they used about lies. Because you've seen two people that needed help today. The fire extinguisher guy, he looked like it was on dope. And the other lady, he probably had a mental issue. No one helped either one of those two people. You didn't see, you just seen it, right? There you go. SubX.News. We show you everything in our city. Yeah. I just told you, I'm going to tell you one more time. Carjackers, murderers, rapists, all that stuff, yeah, that might be glorious. And that might be crazy. But you just seen the real crime in Chicago. No one is reporting on what we just showed you. Not one person. No one. Zero. No one is. And you know why I get attacked? You know why they say I'm fucked up? You know why people go against me? Because I'm showing you the truth. I'm showing you the billions of dollars that are being stolen from our city and our taxes. And you just seen two people did nothing. I'm not going to blame those cops, but those cops did nothing. They let that dude walk away and the other lady walked away. Nothing happened. And guess what? If something happens later where violence happens, then we're going to have a big show, right? A big show will say, oh, it's violence. It's violence. We need social workers. We need psychology. We need this and this. Yeah. That's what you just seen. You seen the corruption in front of you today. Listen to the radio.
For Grainger, click Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
5:30. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Fielding. Here are the top stories on News Radio WBBM. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem testifies on Capitol Hill about the actions of Federal Border Patrol agents.
This is Nancy Hardy. The Trump administration makes another about face in a case where law firms claim the president retaliated against them.
A federal grand jury in Chicago indicts a man with ties to infamous Mexican drug lord El Chapo. Plus, Secretary of State Marco Rubio briefs Congress on the ongoing U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran. Sports, Bulls host OKC at the United Center this evening, and the Blackhawks on the road to face the Jets. In business,
another day of losses on Wall Street on worries about the U.S. war against Iran. The Dow today down 404 points. The Nasdaq down 232. The S&P lost 65. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
Right now, cloudy skies across the board. Temperatures in the upper 30s. Right now, 38 degrees at O'Hare at 5:31. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was in the hot seat today during a Senate Judiciary hearing. Here's WBBM's Glenn Marshall.
Would you like to say anything to Ms. Miramar?
I'd like to hear you say the name of one of our victims of illegal criminal activity.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told the Senate Judiciary Committee that multiple immigration and customs enforcement officer-involved shootings are being investigated. But when it comes to discussing the shooting of Chicago resident Miramar Martinez back in October of 2025 by Border Patrol agents, Noem didn't have much to say in response to the Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal's questioning.
I don't know why you can't join me in saying it was wrong to shoot Miramar, almost cause her death, and then brag about it. Wouldn't you agree with me that it was wrong?
Well, sir, the way that you have portrayed it, it appears to be, but let me look into the case so I can speak to the specifics of it.
The judiciary hearing is happening while the Chicago Headline Club is suing DHS, claiming their First Amendment rights have been violated. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A big day for the Chicago Fire. Ground officially broken and the celebration underway in the South Loop, where the team will build their new stadium. Team owner Joe Mansueto says he hopes the stadium will lead to more development.
You guys know where that's at. You want me to show you the fire?
Chicago is worth investing in.
Let me show you where that's at.
Future ahead of it. We hope it inspires others to say yes to investing in Chicago, third largest market in the country. I've invested in a number of projects, and I'm proud and excited.
That's right there, that white thing.
The stadium is set to open
That's
in 2028
right there.
and will be able to hold more than
SubX.News live.
fans.
Right there.
A West Suburban concert venue appears on track to reopen.
Right there. That's the fire right there. The news station that just talked about.
One city officials say is nearing completion. Among the improvements to the city-owned park, additional space that is expected to raise capacity by 2,500, a new entrance, pair of massive screens, restroom facility, beverage area, and more. The Beacon News reports city leaders are still weighing one of the final touches of the project, a more than $300,000 deal to improve the park's sound system. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Around the world, at 5:33, the airstrikes in Iran continue into its fourth day, as 6 U.S. service members have been killed so far. President Trump says the U.S.-Israeli military strikes in Iran was, quote, something that had to be done. He argued that he believed Tehran was getting ready to attack. Aaron Navarro is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
Here on Capitol Hill with Secretary Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and others, briefing all members of Congress. Democrats wanted answers on the administration's justification for war and its endgame.
There seems to be no clear goal, an objective that is achievable without a prolonged, forever war that envelops the entire region.
Both the House and Senate are set to vote on war powers resolutions this week that would require the president to seek congressional approval for any continued military action against Iran.
Meantime, anxious travelers hold up in the Middle East looking for ways to get home.
Tens of thousands of travelers are stranded in the Middle East by the Iran war. German Mario Mueller, landing in Frankfurt, described tense moments before he managed to get on a flight from Dubai. The attacks sounded like airplanes breaking the sound barrier, he says. Michael and Karen Blischke said they watched as the anti-missile system near the Burj Khalifa shot everything down. Airspace across the Gulf is closed and major airlines have canceled flights. Other travelers are marooned on cruise ships that can no longer sail the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. State Department says they are preparing military and charter flights as they urge Americans to leave around a dozen countries. Israel's transportation minister announced that Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv will resume limited operations beginning Thursday. I'm Jennifer King.
Our Secretary Howard Lutnick says he will appear before the House Oversight Committee over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
The chairman of the committee says Secretary Lutnick will appear voluntarily for a transcribed interview. Representative James Comer said, I commend his demonstrated commitment to transparency and appreciate his willingness to engage with the committee. Secretary Lutnick has been scrutinized for saying he cut off all ties with Epstein, the convicted sex offender and disgraced financier, who was also Lutnick's former next-door neighbor. Lutnick later admitted to visiting Epstein's private island in 2012 along with his family, years after he claimed to have cut off all contact. Lindy Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
In Texas, voters have turned out for both parties over a closely watched Senate primary in a race that's already the most expensive on record.
Voter Michael Collins in Mansfield, Texas, definitely wants Republicans to stay in power.
I like the way that Trump is running the country.
Stan Williams says he is worried about the economy, among many other things.
I'm concerned about the immigration stuff, concerned about the stuff with men and women's sports.
But voter Dwayne Henry says,
I just feel that changes need to be made.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
A cleaner commute can start in an Illinois cornfield. Low-carbon biofuels made from local corn reduce greenhouse gas emissions and offer a more affordable...
So that's the Chicago thing over there. You got that? That's where the fire is playing right today. They're going to redevelop that whole land. Well, that's what they say, right?
After a wreck, you make one call. That's all to learn and row. 708-222-2222. That's 222-2222.
Managing attorney 114 East Sumac, Chicago. Some work may be performed by or referred to other attorneys.
At California Closets, we design for the little things. Take this moment of a woman getting dressed for an early meeting while her husband's still asleep. Sorry. And now, the California Closets version of that moment, featuring custom soft close drawers. Bedroom and home storage solutions by designers who get you. California Closets, more room for what matters.
Now, the lowest gas prices from News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Sponsored by PackyWebFord.com. The Bronco boss, Packy Web Ford, will beat any competitor's deal on any full-size Bronco or Bronco Sport. For details, visit PackyWebFord.com. In Lombard, the Citgo on St. Charles and Highland has gas for $2.97 a gallon. In Woodridge, the BP on Route 53 in DuPage has gas for $2.82 a gallon. Still to come.
This is Carolina Garibay. Parents, teachers, and students at Shy Arts are speaking out against proposed changes from CPS.
More on that in a moment, but first it's 5:38. Traffic sponsored by Baird, and here's Neil.
We'll start on the tollways, Lisa, along the Tri-State brake lights southbound before Gulf Road to pass Dempster. It looks like we have an accident blocking at least a lane past that you're heavy from the Eisenhower to Ogden, and then from the Mile Long Bridge to 95th due to an earlier crash in that area. That has been cleared. I-80 to pass Tolstead, a delay as well. Looking over in northwest Indiana.
All right, let's go do a little sunset and meditation. What do you guys say?
I-65 from US 30 up to past 61st Avenue.
I'm going to say this. That video, what you just seen occur, shows the complete problems of our city. The complete. First of all, you got people walking around doing drugs and mentally ill. That's one problem. The second problem, what did you hear on the radio call? There's someone swinging a fire extinguisher, and we were there, and you seen the fire extinguisher. You seen it. So that was a fact. It did happen. There's a guy who took a fire extinguisher from somewhere and is walking around the city all jacked up at a CTA station during rush hour. That's what you seen. There's a radio message to the police saying, there's a dude doing this, get over there. We were there and you seen they were 15 minutes late. Then you seen the guy walked away from them. Then you seen another lady who was having issues and she walked away and nothing happened with her. So you seen the complete and utter breakdown of the safety net of our society. And I'm going to say this, and then we're going to listen to some meditation music. You can crime chase, you can murder, you can do Epstein, you can do Iran and Gaza, whatever you want. What you seen just now, a half hour ago, is our society is breaking down. The cops don't come, people are doing whatever they want, and there's no help. Zero. Everything that Brandon Johnson says is a progressive. He is not doing. He's doing zero of it. In fact, he's exacerbating the problem. Because why? The police don't arrest the people, and now they're walking around. Those two people are walking around somewhere. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what they're going to do. They're walking around. That's the problem there. Okay, listen to some meditation music for sunset, okay? For about a few minutes. Let's relax a little bit, okay? I need to relax. Always need to relax. Remove negative thoughts. That's what we're going to listen to, okay? You know what? If you want to see the skyline, I'll get you the skyline, all right? How about this? How about we do a nice skyline? Forget that. We can't see the sunset, so we're going to do a nice skyline. How about over here? All right, it's a little cloudy, but we're going to do this one. How about this for you, Marietta? Got a little meditation for a few minutes, okay? Kind of relax and get our brains situated. How about that? There you go. How about that? Is that nice or what? There you go. SubX.News, meditation time. picture and you see the guy, look at him.
One of the tense moments during
enjoy that. Let's listen to the news at 6 o'clock.
This is the names of 4 U.S. Army Reserve soldiers ages 20 to 42 who have died in Kuwait while supporting Operation Epic Fury. They are Captain Cody Cork of Lakeland, Florida, Sergeant First Class Nicola Moore of White Bear Lake, Minnesota, Sergeant First Class Noah Teachins of Bellevue, Nebraska, and Sergeant Declan Cody of Des Moines, Iowa. So far, a total of 6 service members have died and at least 10 have been critically wounded. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth briefed members of Congress behind closed doors about the war with Iran. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal said afterwards he was more fearful than ever that the administration may put boots on the ground.
I also am no more clear on what the priorities are going to be of the administration going forward.
Republican Representative Nancy Mace.
If ground troops get involved, I think that's a very different conversation. That's not where we are today. That's not what I heard in the briefing. And again, I won't go into details because it was classified. I feel very good and very confident about where we are, roughly just over 100 hours into the strikes and this conflict.
Many Democrats called for a public hearing.
CBS Elections and Surveys Director Anthony Salvanto on how Americans view the war with Iran.
Americans do not feel like they have been given a clear explanation of what the U.S. goals are. 62% say they have not, that they have not been given a clear explanation. What is important about that is this. They don't necessarily think this is going to be a short conflict.
The 2026 midterm season is underway with voters at the polls for primary day in Texas, North Carolina, and Arkansas. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is in Austin, Texas.
They've seen record turnout already in early voting. We're still assessing what the turnout has been like so far today. There have been some issues in Dallas and Williamson counties with some confused Democrats on where exactly they were supposed to vote. One of the things Anthony and his polling unit has been doing is assessing what Republicans and Democrats are looking for as this midterm campaign season begins. And one of the findings of those polls among Republicans is that they still expect loyalty to the president.
North Carolina polls will remain open until 8:30 p.m. Eastern in Halifax County only after earlier delays in voting. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defends the immigration crackdown during testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. North Carolina Republican Senator Tom Tillis has called for her resignation, citing allegations that Noem has blocked an inspector general from investigating 10 complaints against the DHS.
That is stonewalling. That's a failure of leadership, and that is why I've called for your resignation. And if I don't get an answer to these questions, I don't want an applause. Please don't do that for me.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS 1. This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings. We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money...
So the war is going, and it sounds like most people are approving of it. How do you like this? How do you like how the downtown is lighting up, right? It's lighting up, ain't it? It's pretty nice, isn't it, with that fog? We'll listen to the rest of the music, and then we'll probably cut it short. If sun comes up, we'll go back on live. But we're going to listen to the rest of the news, and then we'll finish up tonight. But it's beautiful tonight.
Over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6869. That's 800-575-6869. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
A body camera may have saved a Florida sheriff's deputy's life. CBS's Michael Wallace.
Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood says Deputy Jose Rivera was investigating a battery call at a home in Deltona when he was shot twice, in the leg and chest.
Thank God for his body camera. Takes a round dead center.
The bullet then ricocheted into Rivera's shoulder. He's alert and should be okay. Until 6 months ago, Volusia County deputies wore their body cams on their shoulders. The department then started using new cameras that are worn over the chest. The suspect faces attempted murder charges. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Robert De Niro this hour appears at Carnegie Hall. He'll read excerpts from a Philip Glass symphony about Abraham Lincoln that the composer once intended to stage at the Kennedy Center. Glass announced in January that he had called off a scheduled June premiere of Symphony No. 15 Lincoln. He was protesting President Trump's ouster of the center's leadership. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Chicago.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
The time now is 6:05. Good evening. I'm Glenn Marshall, and currently we're sitting under around 36 degrees right now, but tonight is going to be partly to mostly cloudy with a low of 33. Tomorrow, that cloudiness will continue with perhaps a little rain, and especially south of I-80 with a high of 47 degrees. Tomorrow, a low of 39. We'll look at that 5-day accurate forecast in just a couple of minutes. But first, our top story here on News Radio 105.9 WBBM. The clock has started for fans of the Chicago Fire soccer team as city leaders join team executives to break ground on the club's new stadium in the South Loop. WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles reports that it's expected to be completed in 2 years.
The planned $750 million stadium here along the Chicago River will anchor an entertainment, office, retail, and living complex that developers have long referred to as the 78. Fire owner Joe Mansueto is paying for the stadium construction with his own money. And Mayor Brandon Johnson praised his commitment to the city while also getting in a mention of Chicago's other well-known football team, the Bears, which also wants a new home.
It is so good to make sure at least one of our football teams in Chicago is good.
One more to go. Later, the mayor, who has 3 kids who play soccer, reflected on what the development meant to him personally.
The game of soccer was not necessarily available for my generation. And to think that my son and my daughter and young people across this city can see themselves grow in a sport like soccer, it's a remarkable testament.
We're in the South Loop. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And starting this week, Chicago area drivers may spot some eye-catching billboards.
They range from your tax dollars wasted, ICE cruelty is costing you billions, to funding ICE is a slippery slope to fascism.
These are the type of metrics that I think need to be very public about, inform our voters so that we can continue to organize and hold people accountable.
24th Alderperson Jesse Fuentes says the billboards are part of a nationwide campaign by the Mi Gente Support Committee.
We have seen an astronomical increase to the ICE budget, both to the personnel and to the weapons. We've seen about $8 billion in increases in just the weapons alone, and a total of $28 billion. These are tax dollars that are being spent on ICE to terrorize our communities.
All while Fuentes says programs like Medicaid are slashed in Washington. Locally, the alderperson says the focus remains on protecting Chicagoans, but also ensuring small businesses impacted by ICE enforcement are able to recover.
We need to talk about how do we support commercial corridors that have been the backbone of local economies and Latino communities.
Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And the time now is 6:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8th is sponsored by Busey Bank. And here to tell us more about a cleanup on I-55 is Abby Ryan.
Right now, Glenn, on I-55, if you're on the southbound side, it's heavy from 355 to Route 53. Before that, the outbound side of the Stevenson, heavy past the Ryan to past Central and Lamont to 355. 25 out to Cicero, 34 to 294, 42 out to 355. The inbound side, heavy spots from First to Pulaski at 33, 355 on in. You're on the outbound side of the Edens. It's slow from the Kennedy Junction to Foster at 17. Inbound, a 27-minute ride. Now, if you're on the inbound side, it's heavy from Tower to past Willow, Peterson to the Junction at 27 minutes. Kennedy outbound, heavy from the Jane Byrne interchange to Ohio Central to Harlem. You've got 16 to Montrose, 28 out to the airport. The inbound side, heavy past Cumberland, past the Wintrust Mural at North Avenue over to Ogden. 43 O'Hare into downtown, 22 coming on in from the Edens Junction. I-190 looks good. Eisenhower out. It's heavy past the Jane Byrne interchange to Harlem. 25 to Manheim, 43 to I-90. Inbound 55. Stevenson outbound at 34-minute ride to 294, 42 to 355. Inbound 33. I-55 Will County again heavy from 355 to 53. Dan Ryan outbound 33. Inbound 18. I-57 outbound. It's heavy from the Ryan to past Halsted at 18. Bishop Ford 15. Slow from the Dan Ryan to the Stony Island feeder ramp. DuSable Lakeshore Drive northbound. Heavy Navy Pier to Chicago. Southbound. Heavy past Michigan to Chicago through Grant Park. And then 57 to Hayes. Tri-State South slows around Dempster. Earlier crash cleared. Heavy Cermak to Ogden. I-80 past Halsted. Next report from the Metro Traffic Center at 6:18. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Thanks a lot, Abby. Tonight is going to be a low of 33 degrees. Tomorrow we're going to see a little bit of rain, especially south of I-80, but a high of 47 degrees with a low of 39. Now, currently it is 36 at O'Hare, is 37 along Midway, and along the lakefront is 34 degrees. The time now is 6:10. The man charged in the fatal stabbing of a pregnant woman in Downers Grove has pleaded not guilty.
The arraignment for Nidis Rabukas was supposed to be last month, but was pushed back after the Westmont 19-year-old was hurt in custody. DuPage County Jail staff said back then they thought the injuries were self-inflicted, but have not publicly disclosed any details. The Daily Herald reports Rabukas came to court in a wheelchair with a cast on his left wrist and a brace on his neck and back. Prosecutors say in late January, he stabbed Eliza Morales more than 70 times before setting her apartment on fire because he was upset about a pickup truck he bought from her and her husband. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says a reference to him by former President Bill Clinton during testimony tied to Jeffrey Epstein was a mistake. He also criticized Republicans for using it to raise questions about his conduct. Now, the former president was testifying about his relationship with Epstein and his companion Ghislaine Maxwell last week when he mentioned a trip he took with the governor and his wife. Pritzker told reporters that the former president admitted his mistake later in his testimony and said he never even heard of Epstein until the scandal broke.
I had never met Jeffrey Epstein. I was never on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. I was never on any plane with Jeffrey Epstein or with Ghislaine Maxwell. Never met her.
He also called on Republicans to compel President Trump to testify about his relationship with Epstein and Maxwell. And a new high-rise is coming to Chicago's East Lake neighborhood. The 24-story building would go up at Sheridan Road and Diversey Parkway, bringing 303 residential units to the area, 60 of which would be set aside for affordable housing. Now, the development would replace a medical office building formerly tied to Ascension St. Joseph Hospital. Developers bought the property from Ascension Health for more than $17 million just last year. And Lollapalooza has announced festival dates for this year. The annual Grant Park Music Festival will be held from Thursday, July 30th through Sunday, August 2nd, 2026. Headliners and artists for this year have not been announced, but are expected to be revealed in April. The 2025 festival features headliner performances from Tyler, the Creator, Luke Combs, Olivia Rodrigo, Korn, Sabrina Carpenter, and A$AP Rocky. Coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at that AccuWeather 5-day forecast. The time now is 6:12.
Jen.
6:12 p.m. March 3rd, 2026. I think we're going to cut it out here. There's probably other crime that happened, but I need to take a little bit of break. You heard I need to call somebody up in a minute. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. I appreciate everybody watching. I think today was a very important day. It was the most important day I think that we've seen. What's the problem in our city? The people who need help are not getting help. And unless you watched my show, and unless you watched my videos, you have no clue who I am. You don't have no idea what I do. You don't know nothing about my family. You don't know nothing about my past. And I'll say this, I might post some videos later. When I did the migrant stuff, and I agree that they should be deported if they're here illegally. But one of the things I always said when I watched those migrants doing drugs and doing crime and all of that, I have migrants doing drugs on video and doing crime on video. I have it. I said, why isn't the city and the government taking care of this? It's the same theme 3 years later, and I'm still doing the same stuff. Videotaping downtown, showing people that the government steals our money. It's stealing. It's stealing. When you take money and you say you're going to use the money for us, for the taxpayers to make our life better, and you've seen a guy with an extinguisher, nothing happened to him. You've seen another lady screaming and yelling. You see migrants on drugs. You see migrants stealing. You see maniacs on the train platforms being arrested. That's stealing our money. When a politician steals our money, he has no immunity. It's like a cop. A cop who lies and cheats has no immunity. He's a criminal. He becomes the criminal. when a politician lies and cheats and has $30,000 watches and plays games and makes jokes about the Bears leaving, he becomes the criminal. He doesn't have immunity from prosecution. He doesn't have immunity from removal from office. The only problem we have is who's going to do that. And I'm going to say this. There's no one that I can see that's willing to remove Brandon Johnson from office, either now or in the upcoming election. That's what I got to say. You know why? Because they're all getting the crumbs. They're all getting the crumbs. They're all getting the crumbs, and they're all lazy, and they all do nothing. And that's what's happening in our city. We have a beautiful city. You see that skyline in front of you? People built that skyline with their hands. In the old days, they didn't have all those fancy machines with electronics and all of that, 3Ds and all of that stuff. All of that stuff you see in front of your eyeballs right now was built by people's hands. And now we have thieves, criminals, crooks, and cronies that are stealing everything they can, laughing about it. While people running around the streets with fire extinguishers, with bags, with guns, with drugs, and the city is doing nothing about it. That's why I'm going to end my show tonight at 6:16 p.m., March 3rd, 2026. Have a good night. SubX.News on the spot reporting. Enjoy the sunset. Have a good night. Thank you for watching.